These days, when one thinks of ghosts, it's something like this. Or when one thinks of mediums or channeling, it's more like this.
Did he know someone by the name of Anna? Consuelo? Lucita?
But that was before James Van Praagh.
The lady standing over here, I think it's your mom. We'll find out more about it, but she just appears. There's also another lady behind her, which I believe would be her mother.
Right. This California channeler is the hottest thing this side of the great beyond. He's dazzling followers and skeptics alike with what he calls his ability to speak with the dead.
There is no such thing as death. Love continues. There are homes over there. There are trees over there. There are flowers and gardens. To them, we're the ghosts. They come down to this lower vibrations, denser earth world, and they can walk through walls, and they see us as forms. They don't see us solid. That's where you go when you pass over to a real solid world.
The 39-year-old Van Praagh's best-selling book, Talking to Heaven, A Medium's Message of Life After Death, has sold more than 600,000 copies. But before the book started climbing the charts, Van Praagh made his living selling videotapes and delivering mass readings. He says he learned he had a special gift in the first grade.
I said to my teacher, Mrs. Weinleck, I went up to her and I said, "It's okay, John is fine, your son is fine. He just broke his leg, but he'll be fine." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "There was a car, he was hit by a car." About an hour later, the principal came in. She called out the teacher. The teacher came in crying. After school, she said to me, her son John was in a car accident. He was hit by a car. And she said, "You were right, his leg was broken."
But as they say, seeing is believing, so I decided to give it a try. Soon, Van Praagh says he was talking with my mother, who passed away when I was in college.
Your mother's speaking very, very strong, very, very fast, very, very quickly, and she's strong. I feel like her personality is a bit strong, too.
Yep,
okay?
that's Mom.
She said, "I'm with her all the time. I'm with her all the time." And she said, yes, she has flowers in her house. There are flowers there in the house. And I want to go to your living room, and there's something there with the pattern with the flowers.
No, not in the living room.
Where is it?
The sitting room.
The sitting room.
Yeah.
Because this is where your mother is with you.
Cool.
It is conceivable that everything Van Praagh said to me could have been gleaned from news articles on me over the years. Even so, he surprised me a bit.
When you're in the kitchen, do you ever think, like, do you ever get a feeling when you're standing there in the kitchen of your mom? Because she said to me, I'd come to her in the kitchen, and I don't know what it means.
That's because that's usually where I am, probably.
Okay, and one more thing. Who's Kathy?
My sister.
Okay. She wants to give love.
But until that day, Van Praagh had never heard of Norma Messing. She wanted to contact her Aunt Ruth, whose 1991 murder has never been solved. First, though, Van Praagh says some other relatives turned up.
Who's Helen?
My first husband's mother.
Okay. She knows of you, and Helen wants to give you her love.
Van Praagh says he then saw Norma's aunt. He had been told she was murdered, but nothing else.
She was gasping for air. She's gasping for air. I will tell you this. I feel like they hit her. They hit her first. And I feel she puts her hands up, which is weird. I get the putting hands up. Was she killed with hands?
She was struck, first beaten with a cane. She
That's
raised her arm, probably
that's what we got.
because her arm was broken, and then she was strangled.
Okay. That's the gasping. Was she found in the bedroom, or in the bedroom, or right in the floor of the bedroom, or something?
Yes.
She said that. She sent me that thought, yeah? There were two people involved with this, okay? There were two people involved, and she did not know these people.
So what do you think? Norma feels something did happen here.
I could not believe some of the dead-on stuff that he had. Getting my first mother-in-law first, getting the picture of my first husband.
When we do a successful communication, and the person realizes they are communicating with their loved one, and there indeed is no death, they can start to begin their life, and the grief is eliminated. The fear of death is eliminated.
Van Praagh knows he'll always face skeptics, but he believes he has a gift that needs to be shared.
Wouldn't it be a sin to keep it to myself and not share it with people?